Yeah, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, please just. Uh, okay, Gabriela, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Yeah, Gabriela, you can make use of the chat box if you can hear me. Okay, Omar's Craft is saying yes. Um, who else is here? So I just dropped a message again on the group so we can have more persons on board. So when you come in, you can just drop a message on the chat box so I know that you're here. Um, I hope YouTube is a good idea for today. Let's just see how it goes. Mm, so let me share my screen. Okay. So let me know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen. Can anyone see my screen? So just reply with a yes. Okay. Okay. All right. I see. Yeah. I see. Yeah. Um. So what is the first thing that we're going to discuss today? So let's quickly talk about the week tracker. Let's talk about the week tracker. I know I've talked about the week tracker, but let me just throw more light to it. So this is how the week tracker works. Um, it has about say one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight columns, right? Now the first column talks about declaration and affirmation. So you just need to set this by yourself. I declared this goal. So none of these things would work if you don't have one goal like you're after. So right now, just take a moment and ask yourself, what do I want to achieve within the next 30 days? Just one, right? And make that declaration that on this day, it could be today, tomorrow, Monday, or if you've already done this, then kudos. As a believer, I would encourage that you have a scripture that backs up your conviction about the goal you want to achieve. Okay, it's important. Then you can you can decide to curate or create your own affirmation. Okay, and then a daily reminder. What do you want to remind yourself of on a daily basis? See, all these things improve your productivity and gives you high energy for the day. So while some other persons are waiting for motivation, you are creating your own motivation. You are creating your own inspiration. You are self-inspired. Now, these are the things that has to be in place to create that inspiration for you. Okay. So, for example, your daily reminder can be it is the hard and important things I do today that makes my life easy tomorrow. So when you keep reminding yourself that it's a hard thing you do today that makes your life easy tomorrow, then if say you're a salesperson, you're running a business and your business runs on you having to call people or send people um private messages or send DMs, many times we don't want to make it seem like, oh, we are selling stuff to people. We don't want to convince people. We don't want to hear no, right? So, but imagine you tell yourself, okay, is it hard and important things I do today that makes my life easy tomorrow? And one of the things you need to do is to call people. You call because you know that, oh, if I do this thing that I feel is hard today, tomorrow my life is going to be easy. Then, what kind of mindset do you want to operate with? Steroids executor, somebody that is always on steroids, always on high energy, highly disciplined, doing what you need to do, whether you feel like it or not. Smart work and hard work minded. So instead of just focusing on the job, you're also developing your mind so that you can create better ideas, leverages to make your work easy. So and all of that. So just it goes on and on and on. Um for Let me just find out if okay. So if at any point in time you can't seem to maybe hear me or see my screen, you can just drop a message on the Telegram. You can just drop a message on the Telegram group. Okay. So I'm on Telegram so that I can see your messages here. I can't see who is on the call, but shout out to everyone on the call. You can drop a message on Telegram and just tell people that we are live. Um, so let's continue. So so the second part is the wig. The wig. So wig stands for your wild important goal. It can also mean wildly important goal or wildest important goal. So let's say you have 10 goals, right? The idea is to now crash it down into three, right? Now, if crash it down into three, what is that one particular goal that stands out? That goal that if you achieve it right now, it's going to mean so much to you than any other thing. So that is now going to be your wildest important goal. I hope you're following. So that is what you prioritize. So the idea is necessarily not balance. The idea is not to do achieve too many goals at the same time. The idea is to focus, follow one course until successful. That's the idea. That's the idea. Because if you channel all your energy into one thing, you achieve it faster, you produce a better result, and you'll be more happier. So I think that's something that you need to understand. So for your business, it could be you want to make 5 million in revenue. That one is enough. It's enough. So now you should be asking yourself, okay, so um what do I now need to do to make 5 million this month or in the next 30 days? So, but for this example, the wildest important goal is I've sold an average of 1,000 copies of my digital product in 69 days. Now, let's talk about week phases. So, week phases is simply milestones. Milestones. So, do you need to, what do you need to, what are the steps you need to get to achieve this goal? So, for example, this goal is to sell an average of 1,000 copies of my digital products in 9 days. At this point, assuming that none of this is ready, it's just a goal. So phase one will be to complete the book because before you think of having a course or something, you should have notes. So complete productivity notes or complete productivity book. Then number two, the second milestone is create a professional presentation slide for the productivity material. This is just an example to give you an idea. Okay. Number three, organize a paid online masterclass to train participants on productivity systems. Phase four, phase five, phase six, phase seven You see, so from this, you can now go to timeline. Timeline. So how long will it take to achieve phase one? You decide. How long will it take to achieve phase two? You decide. How long will it take to achieve phase three? You decide. How long will it take to achieve phase four? You decide. Same with phase five, phase six, and phase seven. Now, the next column talks about metrics. How will you know that you have completed this particular phase? How will you know? It's simple. The complete book with all the chapters. So you can show somebody this is the book, these are the chapters. Okay, so it's not just you setting it, but now you have there's a metric to show that you are doing what you said you would do. Same for phase two, phase three, phase four, phase five, phase six, and phase seven. So for you, you want to sit down and think through it. Okay, for status, how status basically is an expression of your metrics. So when it's done, you make use of a green color and you change this to done. Okay, all of this, you can see that it's done, which is the status. Then for the ones you've not done, it's still going to be red like this. So NA, not applicable, or not started, right? So you just decide to use these colors. Now, for the task that is ongoing, you make use of yellow. So task you've done, you make use of green. Task you've not started, red. Ongoing task, yellow. Okay, so weight talks about the effort that will go into that particular phase. So you decide. So what aspect of this journey, whatever will need the most resources, would have the highest weight. So, for example, 7 days will require you to spend like 3 hours every day writing a book. It's taking your time, it's taking your energy, it's taking your attention. So that weight is going to be higher. So you can see that this one here just has 10 as weight. Then phase three, end of the day, what is weak status? Based on your status shows you're done. Now for this, weight, weak status 0. It shows that you've not started at all. Started then, and you're making progress. If the weight is 10, so this shows your level of progress. So if you've gone halfway, then this should be 5. If you've gone halfway, then it should be 5. If you've done say 25% of the entire tax, so this can be 2 or 2.5. Do you understand? So that's exactly how the week tracker works. So what is the second thing that we are meant to talk about? Let me see. The weekly reading register. So please let me know if you guys are following. You can just drop a message on the chat box. If you're following, just drop a message on the chat box. Please let me know if we're following. Just make use of the chat box. Okay, Rachel says she's following, though she came late. Yeah, we're going to there'll be a link to the recording. Okay, Bliss Online Math classes. My question is, are we downloading this app or just to edit it? Okay, so once you have Google Sheets, you just need to have Google Sheets on your laptop or on your phone. Okay, Gabriella says she's following. Omar Craft says yes, though the audio goes off and on. Oh, guys, the audio going off and on. I want to know, is it just Omar or it's everybody? So, but please let me answer your question. Once you have Google Sheets, right, and then you click the link, that's the link to the week tracker. Not the link rather. Once because I usually send it as a downloaded file. Once you open the file, it takes you straight. So the file opens with Google Sheets. Um, then it's probably my network. So the file opens on Google Sheets, and then from there you can just edit. So you can just edit directly. I hope that answers your question. So let's talk about the weekly reading register. So the weekly reading register comprises of 5 activities, and these 5 activities will take just um 2 hours 30 minutes of your time, right? 2 hours 30 minutes of your time. Now, somebody sent me their weekly reading register and added some other tasks. Now, please take note that this weekly reading register is for this productivity challenge. You can decide to edit it, or you can decide to create a new weekly reading register for every other thing that you need to track. So the weekly reading register is just to track your progress, right? So when you say you start on Monday, you write your goal, you just come here and tick. You just come here and tick, right? Anyone you don't do, maybe you don't do the Eisenhower, you you exit, right? So you are tracking your progress. You are tracking your progress. If you have other activities that you want to track, you can create a new weekly register to track those activities. But for this productivity challenge, these are the activities we are tracking because from experience, I know that if you can track this on a daily basis, it will be easy for you to track every other thing, including your business metrics. Because how you do anything affects how you do everything else. So when you wake up in the morning and rewrite your goals, you can just come and take this. When you plan for your day using the Eisenhower matrix, you come and take this. Anytime you read in the day, you tick. When you make your affirmations 3 times a day, you also tick. When you read your goals at night before you go to bed, then you tick. You do all of that. Then at the end of the day, if you did this, say 5 times out of 7, you just come and write 5 here. If you did this 4 out of 7, you write 4. 4 out of 5 rather. So if you did if you read say 5 times out of 5, you put 5, and all of that. So the weekly reading register is easy to use. You just need to make sure that you update it every single day. You update it every single day as you make use of it. Now, third question: how to narrow down all your interests into one so you can focus and produce more results. Now, this is a question that I was asked during the week, and I think it's important that I answer it because there are a lot of persons that have similar questions. So, if you're a person that is multi-talented, you have a lot of energy. Most times, you have plenty interest. You want to do too many things at the same time. So, how do I narrow down? How do you narrow all of these interests? What do you shed off? Because you need to shed off some weight. So, what weight are you going to shed off so you can focus, right? So that's the question that I was asked. Now, and I was using myself as an example. I said there was a time in 2021 where I was doing a lot of things. I'm a person of energy, right? So I felt okay, I could carry all of it at the same time, but it was counterproductive doing too many things, right? I have like 7 streams of income, but nothing was really working. I was broke, still broke, right? Because energy was scattered. I was working hard, but energy was scattered. And so towards the end of 2021, the first thing I did was I had to go and inquire from God. You know how Bible says that David inquired of the Lord. So that's the first thing you want to do. You want to go and inquire. So Lord, what do you want me to focus on? That's the first question you need to go and ask. Now, when you ask the Lord what He wants to focus on, if you pay attention to that question, if you scan your heart for answers, if you are open, so God will speak to you through different means. He can speak to you through an inward witness. He can speak to you through your friends. He can speak to you um, through the book you read. Like you just be amazed at how he'll give you the answer. But you need to ask before you get the answer, right? Now, there's no singular way to hear from God. God can speak to you through different means. You just need to be open and ensure that your heart is willing and ready to receive, right? That's the first thing. Number two, you need to ask yourself, in the next 5 years, which of these activities will not mean anything to me? In the next 5 years, which of these activities will not mean anything to me? Now, any one you pick that will not mean anything to you in 5 years, then it's better you stop it today. So you don't waste time, you get into the future and just realize that, oh, I wasted my years doing this thing, right? So if it's not going to mean anything to you in terms of results, in terms of experience, in terms of the people you will meet in that area, then you stop. Like for example, when I in 2020, one of the first things I stopped doing was I stopped being a boat driver because I looked at my life in the next 5 years and I'm like, no, I can't. I don't see myself doing this. I don't see myself playing in this industry. I don't even see, a lot of things that I'm like, no, I don't want to do this again. I stopped. Now, the third question you need to ask yourself is, now this thing I'm doing, do I find fulfillment doing it? Am I just doing it for the money? Do I find fulfillment? Um, am I happy doing it? Do people get blessed when I do it? Do they get value when I do it? How is it rewarding me? How is it rewarding other people? Because we have come into this world to be valuable to people. So are you adding value to your customers? Who are you adding value to? You want to weigh, you want to weigh the the um the value weight. So this what does this thing what's the value of this thing to others, not just you now, right? Um and then finally you also want to ask yourself, what is the most important use of my time right now? That's another question I want to ask. What is the most important use of my time right now? If you ask yourself what is the most important use of your time right now, it will be clear to you because an answer will come to your mind. Question deepens, answer expands. So many times, the reason why we struggle with clarity, the reason why we are still confused is because we have not sat down to really ask ourselves questions like, is this thing important to me? What is the most important to me right now? The most important thing to me right now. If you ask yourself that question, you are you are going to definitely get an answer. So now let's talk about let's talk about how to 10x your focus and eliminate time wasters. So how do you take your focus to the next level? How do you take your focus to the next level? Now it's similar to what I shared in number three, but if you want to eliminate time wasters, one of the things you can do is to know what you want. Know what you want. What exactly do you want to spend your time on? First of all, what do you want to spend your time on? First of all, right? What do you want to spend your time on? If you know what you want to spend your time on, now for time wasters, this is what you will do. Depending on what you want to spend your time on, let's say you want to spend your time growing your business. So you ask yourself, so how many hours in a week do I want to spend doing this thing? How many hours in a week do I want to spend building my business? How many hours in a week do I want to spend learning this course? We have 168 hours in a week. So course or 68 hours building that business, right? Okay, but just make sure that your 68 hours you keep to it, and nothing comes in between that 68 hours. So how do you ensure that nothing comes in between it? You just need to get yourself an accountability coach or an accountability partner or an accountability team. You just need to leverage on other people's discipline. You need to leverage on accountability. So you create a consequence system, create pleasure and also pain, potential pain. So if I don't spend 68 hours doing this thing at the end of the week, what pain will I have to inflict on myself? Yeah, because there are two kinds of pains that you would experience in life. One of two kinds of pain. You either experience the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So Jim Rohn will always say that the pain of the pain of how did he put it now? The pain of discipline weighs an ounce, but the pain of regret weighs a lifetime. Like you don't want to experience the pain of regret, knowing that I would have done this, but I did not do it. So instead of waiting to experience the pain of regret, why not create that pain of discipline? So I'm going to do this. I didn't do it. I did not keep to my word. So this is the punishment. So I'm going to pay. You can just decide if I don't do this thing, this is how much I'm going to pay. I'm going to pay this person 5K at the end of the week. Right? You decide, but make sure that there's an accountability system for you. That's one of the ways you can connect your focus and then time you start. In 2023, when I was learning how to trade forex, I bought a course in January and I was still struggling to go through that course, even up to June. And then this thing I just shared with you was what I did. I met somebody and I told her, this is what I want to achieve. And if I don't spend XYZ amount of time in a week, I'm going to pay you this amount of money. And trust me, because I did that, in 6 months, I learned what I wanted to learn. In less than 6 months, because I didn't want to pay that money. There were times where I paid because I did not meet up. And that's where integrity comes in. You must be true to yourself. I don't know if it was Socrates that said, man, be true to thyself. So you have to be true to yourself too if this thing is going to work for you, because your accountability coach is not going to be with you to tell you or hold you accountable. You'll be the one to report to him, and you need to be sincere enough with integrity and deliver your report with sincerity of heart. So question number 5, why your to-do list don't work for you? Why your to-do list don't work for you? So why does your to-do list not work for you? It's because you're not even activities that are important or activities that you need to do now, the activities you need to schedule, the activities you need to delegate, and the ones you need to delete. So many people just come into a new day and they write 20 things on their to-do list, but they don't design it according to according to preference, according to priority. And so they often start with the least when they should be starting with the most difficult, or when they should be starting with the one that will give them the most meaning, the most fulfillment, the or impact whatever it is that they are building. So what is the solution? Now, a better way to plan the day for execution rather than using it to do this is what is there's a it's a productivity tool called the Eisenhower matrix. Um, Let me see if I can make use of what is that thing? Okay, let me use this to draw my screen. Please, let me know if you are still following, guys. Are we together? Please just use the chat box and let me know. Are we still following? All right. Okay, Omar's craft says she's following. Any other person? All right. So this is the Eisenhower matrix. It's divided into four. So you have the first one. This first column or quadrant rather. This first quadrant, they are for activities that are important and urgent that you need to do now. Then this particular one you schedule. Then this particular side, the activities you need to delegate. Then here, these are activities you need to delete. Okay. So here, important and urgent. Here, not important and urgent. And finally, not important. Use this quadrant to plan your day. This is the Eisenhower matrix. Your goal is to focus on these two. So this one has to do with your maybe business activities. Then your these ones you need to schedule, maybe personal development, growth, maybe like reading a book. Then what are those activities that somebody else can do for you? Delegate it. Then activities you need to delete scrolling, movies, anything that will take your time from doing these two things, they should be deleted or you delegate it, right? Um, there are some meetings. There are some meetings that you just need to delete. Tell them, oh, I'm not sure I can keep up with this commitment again, right? So, but the most important thing is that you are focusing on what you need to do and what you need to schedule. And when you schedule it using time block, you schedule using time block, keep to your time block. So if you are planning your day and you say you're going to read by 5 p.m., try and read by 5 p.m. The more you keep to your word, the more it will be easy for you to show up. So right about now, yeah, how to use the week tracker. I'm going to drop the recording so that um, those of you that joined a little bit late can go back and watch the recording. So um, it's time for Q&A, question and answer. Any? Does anybody have any question that will need that you need me to answer? You can just make use of the chat box. You can type in your question. Has to do with anything. Any question? Um. Okay. If we don't have questions, then we'll have to call it a day. You can drop your questions on the Telegram group, and I will attend to it. If we don't have any other question, so that the recording is no longer, people can come later on to watch. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope you learned one or two things, and I hope that this coming week we are going to execute with more intentionality. All right. Thank you, Omar's Craft. I'm also going to be giving. I'm going to be giving scholarship to a couple of persons. By the way, if you need extra, I didn't talk about it. We have an exclusive plan for people that want maybe private accountability, business consulting. We have like exclusive plan. We have the starter pack. We have the pro. We have all of this. We have the 5 in 1. We have 10 in 1. We have 3 in 1. We have one-on-one. So if you want one-on-one with me, then there's a package. There's a plan for that. It's a paid plan. If you want 3 persons in 1, you want to be in the same accountability hub with 2 other persons. It's also a paid plan. You can choose to go for it. Now, the reason why these paid plans are important is to double up on your intentionality, to make you more intentional, right? Because now you have people that that are in the same team with you. You guys are working together to hold yourselves accountable. And I'm also going to be supervising, and I have some of my productivity coaches working with me that are also supervising too. Um, there's one-on-one, 3 in 1, 5 in 1 group. There's 10 in 1. I'm going to be giving some person scholarship into the 10 in 1. And if you have any question, please drop the question on the um, Telegram, or you can just send me a DM and I'll attend to it. All right. So have a beautiful evening. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. And thank you for joining.